Hey everybody, JJ here. Back again for another Saturday of Zoom networking. Man, we got carried away with the beginning of our call. We're just rocking and rolling. I thought, hey, we better start this call. So we're starting this call. Today's guest speaker is a young man who is, surprise, surprise, another one of the rising young rock stars in Pace Morby Sub 2 community. Pace Morby Sub 2 community is by far unparalleled, the premier real estate education platform in the country today, bar none. Our guest speaker today is a really great young man. I've had a pleasure to meet him in person. Started as a student, like most of us did, learning about real estate education, because become an investor, and now is a successful real estate investor who is continuing to get bigger and better every single day. My good friend, Mr. Majdi Sayyid. Maj, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, JJ. How are you?
I'm great, man. I love your background there. I love you got the Instagram and the YouTube and your
Yeah, I learned from the
QR
best.
code.
Yeah, I learned from the best, man. Like we were just previously going over your Facebook ninja strategies, and I got to tell you, those things, it does work. It's amazing. It's something that everybody should implement. And I also remember the piece on the barcodes, the QR codes, and having them in the background, so that your networking is consistently active, even if we're just playing this video, on YouTube, whatever.
There,
But thanks
there's,
for having
there's
me here.
so many things to learn in social media, so many things to learn with Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, and now we have YouTube and TikTok, and but the key really is, we're out to run a successful business, and that's going to be predicated on our ability to build relationships with other successful investors, and
Yeah.
that happens by marketing ourselves because we are the product. And we market ourselves by networking. I like to say networking leads to visibility, and visibility leads to opportunity, because the opportunity that we want is to build relationships with successful people, which is why I'm thrilled to have you on the call today.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me here. It's been this time last year, I think, well, actually a couple of months before then, I actually met you in person at Clever Summit.
Yep.
I remember Clever Summit. But that was one of the biggest events that I've gone to in person and met a lot of people face to face. And, I was starstruck just seeing you. I was like, that's JJ. That is JJ. Let me shake his hand.
There you go, man. It's a pleasure to meet you. And now we become friends. Hey, so really quick before we continue, where, for those who don't know you, where in the country are you located? What's your home base right now?
Yeah, I'm in the Box State of Colorado, and in particular, Boulder, Colorado. So we do deals out here in Colorado very recently. We're actually looking for a property to buy as our homestead on Creative Finance. So if anybody knows anything, definitely send it our way.
Great. That sounds fantastic. I wanted to talk about you. You're my favorite topic. I like talking about my guest speakers. Everything I do is based on the relationship, and that means getting to know people. And people like yourself. I met some phenomenal people, and I just want everybody to know who you are and what your story is. But let me ask you, I mean, we all start somewhere. We all start in a different place. As we, become adults and get into the business world, it starts for different people, different times. But we're all driving at 16, basically. We're all voting at 18. 21, we can get a cocktail, go into a bar, order, wine, beer, whatever it happens to be. But for yourself, at the age of, in high school, leading into your 20s, um, was real estate even on the landscape for you? Like, was mom an agent? Was dad a contractor? Was it something that you were familiar with or not familiar with? And if not, what were you doing in your teens leading into your 20s?
That's a great question, JJ. So the time from like middle school to high school, all those times, I was into sports. That was all I did. And I was very athletic. All of my siblings were they're still athletes even still. But it was just my dream and my aspiration to just want to do professional sports. And when I got into college, I tried out, didn't make the teams, but that was just like the first hurdle that I've come into contact with when I was in college. And I went to college at Colorado State University. I ran a little bit for their indoor track and field team, and then got cut going into the outdoor season. And then I actually got kicked out of school, but I made my way back into it. But real estate wasn't on the landscape. It was just all those things that, in my eyes back then, I thought society should what I thought I should identify myself with that society. Like for individuals that look like me, I thought I should just get into sports, play basketball, play sports, and all these other things. But when it came to real estate investing, that wasn't something that was on my radar.
Real estate really avoids most of us unless we have a direct correlation. So now, as you got into college, what were you studying? What was your focus? What was your intention of where you wanted to go?
Man, I was following the crowd. Really, like when I graduated high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Uh, a lot of people were like, "You have really nice teeth." I was like, "Okay, maybe I should be a dentist and just become a dentist." So I went to Colorado State University. They didn't even have a dental program, and I went there because my brother went there, so I was following his footsteps. He ran track. I wanted to run track, and I really looked up to him in that light. But eventually, I just went to school, and I realized that I was working out a lot. I was working like, I don't know if you ever heard of the freshman 15.
No.
Oh, you haven't. So basically, when you're a freshman, you gain 15 pounds. Is
Oh,
the
okay.
the common conception. But I gained 15 pounds in muscle, and I just kept working out all the time. Like just working out 6 days out of the week. I would go to the gym more than I would go to school. And I was like, why don't I just study this? Because at that time I was undeclared. So I went for sports medicine, and then I took chemistry. And chemistry was one of those obstacles. I was like, I don't think I want to do this. So I transitioned to health and exercise science with a focus in the business aspect of it. Picked up a business minor in business entrepreneurship. And during that time, I also became a personal trainer. And since then, I've just been doing personal training, even on the side. I still do it.
Very cool. Yeah, I actually had some interest in sports medicine when I was in college going to USC. And
USC?
yeah, I went to USC, Trojans and all that stuff, the Rose Bowl.
Go
Uh,
Trojans.
my my family was not supportive of my idea to do um get into school of physical education, study sports medicine, physical therapy. Uh at the time that was the forefront of exploding to what it is today. But we all have a different path, and for me, as life goes on, that door closed, but I've still been able to do things that are related to that. But let's get back to you, my friend.
Right.
So you get into your 20s and you're into fitness, and at,
Yeah.
at, now, have you always lived in Colorado? Did you grow up there?
Yeah. So well, kind of. I did live in San Francisco Bay Area, Daly City. Lived there for about a year or so, more so because I just wanted to travel. But, that was maybe a year and a half after I graduated. And I actually, when I mentioned when I was in college and I got kicked out, it made me realize, all right, what am I actually here for? Am I going here to become an athlete? Am I going to become a professional athlete? And I didn't go to school on a full ride scholarship or anything like that, but it was all just student loans, student loans, student
Mm-hmm.
loans. And that's something that I was like, all right, I need to figure out how I'm actually going to pay this off. So I figured that I'd focus on school and focus on my personal development. And that's where I got into things like Think and Grow Rich, Tony Robbins,
Wow.
all of these different individuals that made me question the direction I was headed in my life. And then also Les Brown. Just first thing in the morning, I'll just pop in Les Brown on YouTube and
He's
just get
great.
get ready for the study session of school and whatever that looked like. And one thing that really kept me anchored was my exercise programs and my rituals in the morning. First thing I do when I wake up, drink my water and start running or stretching and then get on with the day. So, I read things such as like the Miracle Morning And it's not, before I even knew about that, it was something that I was already doing. So, that whole aspect from beginning of the day, I think it's important to really set yourself self up for success with
Yeah.
just the morning routines, and having that exercise program has really helped out. And even in my programs with that I studied in CSU, I would do different things that they would teach. They would teach yoga. I'd had to teach a aerobics class, group training. I trained elderly individuals that would want to be able to put a can of soup on on their in their pantry or something. It's just the simple things in life, and that made me realize a perspective of how short life is and how precious it can be, just from the minute, the little tiny things that add up over time. Because I saw these individuals that I was just training back in they would call it adult fitness class. And during that time, all the elderly people, they just go for runs or walks. Actually, they weren't really that active, so they go walks around the track. And one of them actually suffered from a fall. And for those that don't know, when elderly individuals fall, that can be a really life-threatening event.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't think about it when we're young. But it's those small things, tying it back into the morning routine that you start now and you start today, that are going to set yourself up for success later down in life. And I use that as a cornerstone, both in my health, my fitness, relationships, and real estate investing, which I've just recently started.
It's so amazing. Yeah, I recently started to see a doctor who specializes in acupuncture and also healthy diet. And his
Yeah.
whole thing is about helping people to be proactive instead of reactive. And that's so important. So let me ask you, brother. We got into real estate. You're a real estate investor. Um, was Sub Two your first exposure? How did you get turned on to real estate? What opened that door for you?
Yeah. What really opened the door for me was just researching ways to make money, as a personal trainer. I mean, you can make a lot of money online, but it's like a lot of glamorous, flashy things that they show on Instagram, YouTube, whatever. And that's not like my personality. I'm not really like a flashy type of person. So I didn't resonate with that. And I looked up different methods that would be passive. And at this time, I still do have a few cleaning businesses. But I was working 12 p.m. till 7 p.m., take a 3 hour nap, wake up at 1 a.m., go power wash 1 a.m. all the way to 5 a.m., then go to bed. And I was like, all right, this is not, like, tying it back to what I was saying before, this is not sustainable. Like, those minute things, I don't want those to add up. And then 50, 60 years, however amount of time down my life, it's not going to be suitable for myself and also my loved ones. So I looked up how to make money passively. I did things from stock options, crypto, basically anything you name. I've tried it, except for Forex. I haven't tried Forex. But then I came across this YouTube channel. I forget what it was, but it was all about Airbnb. And this was 2019, so right before the pandemic or anything like that. Got into Airbnb arbitrage, and I was just learning it on the fly while I was doing my cleaning jobs and things like that. So every single time I'm doing jobs, I'm listening to a podcast, I'm listening to some type of information, so I'm getting paid while I'm learning.
Yeah.
I decided to pull the trigger on Airbnb. Turned out one day when I was done with a job, I pulled up to a stop sign, looked over to my left, and I saw this house that looked like a crack house. And it wasn't in the best shape, tall grass, and there was a for rent sign that was blown over. So I get out, park my truck real quick, and then I just get the number and I call the guy. And I tell him, like, hey, I'm over in front of your house. I'd love to check it out. I want to rent it. I didn't mention anything about Airbnb arbitrage. And he's like, yeah, okay, we can set something up. And it was at that time in November 2019. So just a week before Thanksgiving, and Anna and I both went over there, and we go inside the house, and it's very nice. Like the kitchen is all fully renovated. Carpet's like fairly brand new, but it's dark. You can't really tell. And, the condition was really nice. And in one of the rooms, it had a separate entrance. I was like, bingo, this is perfect for Airbnb arbitrage. So I told the guy, like, hey, look, I got two cleaning companies, and we are actually looking to do corporate housing, and we're looking to house professionals that are looking to travel to Boulder, whether they're teaching, whether they're a professor, whatever that looks like, studying. And we're going to house them here. We'll clean this place every other week or every week. And would you be open for us doing something like that? He said, as long as you pay the rent, I'm fine with it.
There you
And in
go.
my head, I was just like, ding, 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 ding. This is awesome. So I was trying to hide the excitement, and I told him like, "Oh, okay, cool, cool. I'll just get back home, and I'll put together all the documentation. I'll send it over to you." So we get everything together. I log on to the Boulder. That's the county that I'm in. I log onto their website to get the short-term rental license, and it turns out you have to have your name on the deed of the property. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I can just tell them like, hey, look, it's not going to work, or just test it out and see if it's something that we can swing. Told him about it. He said that he's still on board because he was wanting to be done with it. Essentially, he's a tired landlord. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with tired landlords, but they just want to be done with it. He was doing the renovation himself with one other guy. So
Wow.
he's really over it. So I end up uh, getting the property, and we set up that one room for Airbnb. One of my friends, she's a interior designer. She helped me interior design that Airbnb, and everything was just self-taught off of YouTube University. And from that time, we just ran it for about 2, 3 weeks, or sorry, 2, 3 months, and it took us 3 months to get to super host status.
Wow.
So that's where we're at,
And
yeah. And then
how long ago was this?
that was in 2019 in November.
Wow. So in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah, it was pretty short. I think it takes 3 to 6 months to get to superhost status, but we definitely got there, and then we Airbnb'd our living room. So we
Woo!
just we were very resourceful with the amount of space that we had. And I so we have a backyard, and we're on the corner lot. So what we did is I was looking on Craigslist for people that had tiny homes that wanted to park their tiny home somewhere. So I was like, maybe they can park it in the backyard, but there's no plumbing or anything like that. And I looked up the regulations if we were to get busted on that. And that's the main thing too, is when you're doing these type of things, you just need to look at the repercussions of these type of plays that you're trying to run,
Great point.
seeing if you can handle it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's something that we did there. And then 2 years later, no, sorry, 2 years later, we ended up Airbnb in the whole house in itself. So that was something that was a good step into real estate for us.
Wow. That's amazing. Um, I want to jump in your topic a bit is health, fitness, mindset, and success.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I think that's so very important. You're a younger guy. Once upon a time, about 100 years ago, I was a younger guy. I'm an older guy now. And but my whole life I've had, perspective about fitness and health, staying in shape. Um, that just allows you to enjoy life more to begin with. But you know, how it impacts your business is huge. So with your background in health and training, um, and business and real estate, why don't you jump into your topic a bit and share some of your nuggets there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, certainly. Well, it all started from what I was talking about earlier. Is like it's important to do those minute, small things, such as your morning routine. And my morning routine consists of praying, drinking water, gratitude journal, and then a cold shower, and then hitting the gym. Those five things have been crucial, especially when getting started into my real estate journey. I wasn't someone that was very, how do I say this? I'm not a fast learner. Like my learning curve is very long. And one of the ways that I found out how to reduce that is by doing something that's very, uh, that's my superpower. And that superpower is my fitness and health and well-being. Being that, of course, I've studied it for about 6.5 years while I was in the university. I've had application for over 20 years of applying it to my life and still doing it
Yeah.
today.
Mhm.
And a perfect example was my father that helped get me into the fitness space. I just remember him waking up at like 3, 4 a.m., just firing up his motorcycle, his Harley, and then just headed to the gym. And I was like, man, it's early. And it was cold. It wasn't even like, it wasn't a nice day or anything like that. And he kind of just paved the way for setting the example of where I am right now. And now it used to be something that was very difficult for me at the beginning. But now that it's compounded over the 20 years, I could take this thing that's very difficult for me in this space and apply it to things that were new, such as real estate, and use that momentum going into real estate. So immediately when I'm done at the gym, I go into making cold calls, or not cold calls, really, I don't do those anymore, but I did at that time. But I'm making calls to motivated sellers, closing them down. We just had one today that got a verbal yes. The agent wasn't on board. And get this, the agent actually said, "You sound like one of those Pace Morby students. Everyone has been calling me about this and they've been making offers, but they haven't sent anything in paper." And in the back of my head, I was like, oh, really? Who's Pace Morby? you know, like I didn't really want to touch those buttons, but this is the same guy that ended up saying yes on the property. So we're going to be getting a contract drawn up for this guy and sending it out for a property out here in Denver. And I just called this guy on Zillow from that time where I called him. It was something that was we were really going through. So our team, like Zach, Alyssa, she was on here, and Anna, Marcio too. Our CRM was down. It was shut down because we were transitioning to a different CRM. But I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm gonna be proactive, not reactive, and I'm just gonna make calls on my phone here, and then just keep following up, keep following up, keep following up. And after that, I was able to do it. And how did I do that? I did it after I went to the gym, did all the hard things that is now my superpower, took that momentum going into what I'm doing right now. And a lot of people don't really think that maybe health or fitness might not have a key role in their success, but I beg to differ.
Yeah.
A lot of people that are high performers, they're doing things such as going on runs, they're going to the gym, they have some type of mental practice, they have some type of discipline overall. And I think that's crucial in order to tie that into whether you're buying businesses, whether you're buying real estate, or even just relationships in itself. You have to be consistent, you have to be disciplined, and you have to be ambitious and really tenacious to get through what you're doing right now. So that I hope that kind of ties into
Oh,
the title.
yeah, no, totally. I what you say totally resonates with me. I've been a health and fitness nut for most of my life, and you know, for most of the beginning of my life, I think, which is what makes me today to be a lot more fit than most people. I'll say my age.
Yeah.
But when my dad got old, he had trouble getting around.
Mm-hmm.
Walking with a cane and then a walker and then a wheelchair and
Mm.
have any muscle mass. And our bodies are machines, and we need to feed the machine with proper nutrients, proper liquid, not put junk into our bodies. We need to fine tune our machine, which is exercise, walking, running, jogging, bicycling. So we don't take care of our bodies. When we're young, it's like, oh, young lad, I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna live forever. Oh yeah, I'm in good shape.
That
I'm
was me.
actually in good shape. But take my word for it, as we get older, all of a sudden age catches up on you. And if you haven't established the habits to get out a good time, to eat right, to do the things you need to do, implementing exercise on a regular basis, drinking water, drinking plenty of water, eating the right things, staying away from the bad foods. It's just difficult for us to live as good a life as we can. Bryce Bush, you are on with Maj. What's your question?
I see. Well, thank you for your time, first and foremost. But I scanned your QR code and seen you were in the business acquisition space. Wanted
Yeah.
to ask and see, are you self-financing those business acquisitions? Or are you using institutional funds or private funds? And kind of how does your analytics for business acquisition work?
Yeah. So I'm just getting started in that space actually in November. And to answer your question, I have partners that in a mentorship, it's called Deal Makers. I'm not sure if you heard of it, with Carl Allen. So I'm in that one. So I got capital partners in that space that will be able to fund. So that's one aspect of it, is I'll have that partnership. But we're also looking at LBOs. I'm not sure if you're familiar with LBOs, but it's leverage buyout, where you can just leverage the assets. That's another aspect. And then you have annuity, aka seller finance, that we can do. And then of course SBA. But to answer your question, it would more so be partnerships that I'm seeking.
Nice. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I reached out in regards to connecting, getting to know you a little bit more, have some resources I'd love to throw into your life.
Yeah, what kind of businesses are you looking into?
So we do mainly roofing acquisitions, solar installation companies, and I run a private equity fund that does a lot of commercial real estate acquisitions and debt placement.
I love it. And that's where?
I'm located here in Tampa, Florida.
Okay, love it. Yeah, I'll definitely connect with you. I think I saw you sent a text.
Yeah, I'm so proactive. So
I love it, Bryce. I look forward to connecting with you.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you, Bryce. Always good to see you, my friend. Luke, you are on with Majdi Sayyid. What's your question, my friend? Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Maj? I just wanted to ask about you mentioned some inflection points kind of like in your journey, like the football team or just like sports in general, like track, switching majors, even before real estate, and like you had anchors to help you stay grounded. What do you kind of use to temper your expectations or frustrations with things not going as fast as possible? Like, do you just kind of look at it as like it's playing the long game, or what do you kind of use to keep yourself on pace? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long game. I look at it as more of an endurance type of thing. Like, I mean, we worked out that one time in Montana. Luke was in Montana.
Oh yeah,
community camp, and y'all were running on the treadmill, and then you just kept going. You kept going. You kept going. You drip in sweat. It's kind of the same thing, when you come across different obstacles in your life. Just having that shift in perspective and just framing it in a way where it will set you up for success in that moment, so that you can pull yourself back and then project yourself forward. That's something that's key. And grounding myself, like you said, in the fitness space and just being able to zone in there and kind of putting yourself in a flow state, I think is very key. But, to answer your question bluntly, I would just say, like, look back at your strategy, because I read this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Yeah.
You can plan with the end in mind and work your way backwards. You can kind of see where you are currently and be like, okay, this is where I am right now. All I got to do is be able to do this, this, and this, or I can connect with this person, this person, and this person, and they can help me get through this. I hope that helps out.
For sure. Appreciate you.
Yeah, brother. Nice seeing you here, man.
Absolutely.
Well with Esther.
Gotta support the community. Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Luke, thanks for joining us today. Let's get you into the group, my friend. Let's connect. Bridget, you're on with Maj. Question.
Hey, Bridget.
Hey, Maj. It won't be. I promise I won't hurt. This isn't going to be difficult. This is actually an easy one. This one will be fun. And thank you to both of you, JJ and Maj, for your time. Really value, the time that you give us, and Yeah, so this one's kind of quick and along the lines of the connecting and networking, right? Given that we are the sum of the top 5, right? People that we're spending the most time with. And I'm really consciously aware of this. And I'm super excited you were sharing about the health piece, because I've done a complete transformation over the last 2 years. And I believe wholeheartedly, what we do to our bodies, right? And how we treat our own bodies and the morning routine. Oh, love it.
Yes.
Because that's mine. I swear, it's like, my gosh, is he watching? My camera back there is like, he's totally watching my morning, right?
Yes, congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, it's beautiful, right? To feel that you've got some confidence and so forth, and then being able to like attract the right people, and that's a really, for me, that's why this question is so important, right? Is that energy that we give off, right? And having the right people around us. What does that look like for you? What have you done, in
that is such a great
success?
question. I've been thinking about this the longest time. Was I have such a small circle. It was probably like 2-3 people, and one of them's here next to me already. And most of them, like I have the people that I listen to in the morning. Like I listen to Pace. I listen to a lot of Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Ed Milet. And, I have a few friends in person that I really connect with, but a lot of those friends that I've connected with in college and things like that, we're still cool and we're close, but everything is kind of dissipated in a way because the topics of the conversations aren't the same. Sometimes we can still talk about new things like real estate investing or, things that will set up our health or something like that. We can still touch on, but it's not necessarily at a level that's higher. But I've been starting to implement like books as mentors, podcast people that are not necessarily in my physical space, because literally I'm a stickler to a schedule. And that's why I asked JJ about the Calendly thing, because I was like, man, I want to be able to connect with people, but not miss out and have a lot of connections fall through the cracks. So, Calendly was something that helped me out. Definitely don't just send out a link like JJ said, have some intentions with that there. But I'm not sure if did that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that was funny because Maj and I had a call scheduled, and he called me 30 minutes before, and I had somebody who actually didn't show up to that call. So he's calling, and I'm like, well, let's do this. Let's talk, right? And it's just the magic of, how things, I think, kind of play out the way they do. So that was really helpful. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, thank you, Bridget. Nice seeing you again.
Yeah. Good to see you in person. We were over the phone, so it's just nice to.
It is. Yeah. And now we're not choppy, because last time it was a little choppy and then it was
yeah.
And then you're in, but we figured it out.
Yes. Yes. I appreciate you. Both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. Thanks for joining us so much. Maj, we have your business partner, Anna Maria, with us, and she's probably going to stump you a little bit here and there. So, Anna Maria, do you have a question for Maj that you think might be something he could share a little something with us?
Yeah. So this is mostly because I know that there's, he's very supportive and very active in the space of fitness and health and integrating it into a lifestyle. And so I think the question that I have could be really helpful for somebody else that's watching this, because I know that there's a lot of people that struggle with this. And my question is, how do you make time to focus on your health and your mindset while at the same time running multiple businesses and but going through a whole journey of growth, financial growth and all these different things? How do you do it? And I'm muting myself so you can speak.
That's a great question.
All right. No, that is a great question. We're in the same room, so I had to like mute and then unmute and all that stuff. It's not easy, especially if you're obsessed with fitness like I am, and I spend 2-3 hours in the gym. At least I used to. But what I do is I time my workouts, working out, and I time my breaks, and I either cut down on the breaks and intensify the workouts. And also just cycle through different workouts and make sure they're full body exercises and you're working multiple energy systems. So you're working your endurance, you're making sure that you're working fast twitch muscle fibers as well. And you're also making sure that you're bearing a heavy load on your body, on your shoulders, on your hips, and on your ankles. So that can be something such as like pairing a farmer carries. I don't know if anyone's familiar with farmer carries, but you can carry dumbbells in your hands, walk a distance, however long that is to be intense for you, and then go into push-ups. And then after you do push-ups, go into body squats, and then just do a bout of that, do about 5-10 of them. And then you should be done within 30 minutes. That's what's helped me. And I also pair that in with the sauna and cold plunges, which are both difficult things to do. And it actually, at least I only know the benefit for men. Women, I'm sure it has a benefit for them as well. But for men, it increases your testosterone levels. And it's also going to make sure that it increases your brown adipose tissue fat for when you're doing things such as cold plunges. And you're also burning more calories when you're doing both. So that's something that you can implement into your exercises routine. It could be before or after. And a really important thing too is that it also increases your mind or your ability to bear a difficult environment, so to speak. Because if you're sitting in a hot space and you're just being present instead of really huffing and puffing, but just in a meditative state, and you're at a point where it's like, oh shoot, I need to get out of here, and you have that devil and the angel on both of your shoulders kind of playing out, that's the space where you can basically, I call it just exercise for the mind. And that's how I've strengthened my mind when getting into difficult things, difficult conversations, situations where I'll have to exercise courage to step up. And it's not necessarily like the body that I'm exercising. Of course, like, yeah, I want to look good and all that, but it's for the unseen things and the character traits that come with going to the gym that really go a long way when getting into things such as bettering your finances, bettering your future, all of it. Because you cannot have your finances be on point, but your health is suffering because you can't even enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the main things I want to stress there. And also one of the main things I didn't mention was what you're eating. I don't like using the word diet because diet just assumes that it's for a short amount of time. We're actually going to want to increase the quality of the foods. So make sure that we're eating foods that are a variety of the rainbows, colors in the rainbow, and make sure that we're eating in a timely fashion that isn't just sporadic throughout the day, because the body functions off of patterns and we need to know what that is. And there's this thing called a circadian rhythm, which is the body's biological clock, and it actually goes off of the sun. So when the sun comes up, all the way to the time the sun goes down, we're releasing hormones that are going to allow our body to function in a proper way from the time of this morning, afternoon, to the time that we go to bed. And if we can live in synchronicity with that biological clock, that's going to help us out a lot better. I know it's a loaded answer, but I kind of went down the rabbit hole there.
Yeah. So how do you prioritize it? Like if you got a busy day and all that stuff, and you're waking up in the morning and you're saying, man, I really don't feel like working out. I have a really busy day today. I barely slept last night. It's cold outside. It's so early. It's starting to feel like nighttime. What does that conversation look like in your head when you're really fighting with the pillow to try to get up and really get it done and stay disciplined?
Have you heard of Mel Robbins' 5-second rule? Yeah, that's what I use. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take action. And that action is getting into the cold shower. Like that's the only way you're going to really get out of that state, is if you shock the body and get out of it. But it really starts with that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you guys haven't read Mel Robbins' book, The 5-Second Rule, I highly recommend reading it. It's changed my life. going into real estate. It was perfect timing. I read it when I first started getting into sub 2.
Thank you.
Sarah Palacios, you are on with Majdi Sayyid. What's your question?
Hey, Sarah.
Hi. Thank you for all this information. It's amazing. Everything that I learned here with this meetings, the Zooms are amazing. You answered my question already. I wanted to know about the routine and all that. So, but I just want to continue having my hand up because I wanted to thank both of you. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem, Sarah. And one thing that I did not mention was having a calendar, because I have a Google Calendar on my phone, and it reminds me all the time of what I should be doing for my routine, not just with the working out, but the whole routine in itself. And it actually starts, you have a really successful morning the night before. So make sure you're just planning everything the night before.
Thank you. That's great.
Of course.
Man, brother, you're dropping some friggin' nuggets there. Let me tell you.
Thanks, JJ.
Having the proper food, eating those foods regularly, having an assortment of foods, getting rest, time blocking, getting up early, and having a productive start to our day. I mean, for someone like yourself who does it regularly, and although you have to work at it, it might come a little easier. Like, oh, this is just what I do. Of course, you and I know that you've worked hard to get to this point.
Yeah.
A lot of other investors are so overwhelmed with, chasing the gold ring that we forget to find that balance in our life sometimes of investing in ourselves. And that means investing in our body, because our body is our mind.
It is, yeah.
Having the right things, having the right nutrients, and I'm learning this from the acupuncturist that I'm working with. But no, man, it's been a pleasure to have you on today. You just dropping some serious nuggets. Love your story. Love watching what you've done. I mean, you're only going to continue to grow. I can see that. You're a young man. You've got the right heart, the right mindset, great personality, and you're just a pleasure to be around. You just really are. And I say it all the time. We hear it frequently in our journey that we become the sum of the 5 people we surround ourselves with. And I'm fortunate enough to call you a friend and know that, we can connect, we can talk, we can share experiences and be there for one another. So to me, I love you, man. It's
love you, JJ. Thank you, brother.
Awesome. You're awesome. So,
amazing, man. Thank you so much.
I got 2 last questions for you.
Yeah, please.
If folks want to follow up with you, if they've got questions, and I see you've got some links there, but what's the best way for people to reach out to you? Would it be your MySpace page? Would it be your Snapchat?
Oh man, no, I don't have neither. Actually, it would be, if you want to reach me directly, just shoot me a text, or you could scan the barcode. There it is. Scan this barcode, and you'll get all of my information, phone number, email, all that stuff. Just text me, and then you can also give me a call. You'll have to triple dial me if you want to get me on a call, and you could also check me out on Instagram. I'm pretty responsive there, and I'm really focusing on boosting up my YouTube right now. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year. So if you can subscribe on my YouTube, that'd be great. And I'm putting a lot of energy and focus on developing that. So thank you.
Last question for you. You're a young guy that's successful. You're definitely on the right path to success. You're taking all those steps, surrounding yourself with awesome people like Pace Morby. We're an educational platform. You and I are both in Sub 2. They've got a Facebook community. There's over 25, probably over 50, if not more, education platforms on social media for real estate. They've all got a Facebook page for their community. We've got new investors coming to these communities and experienced investors coming to these communities who are learning to use social media for the first time. In addition to just studying the videos and studying the curriculum and the content, how crucial is networking and maybe joining a group like mine to the success of whether it be a new or successful investor's journey into real estate investment?
I would say it's top 3 easily. Actually, I'd say it's probably number 1 is just like the saying goes, your network is your net worth. And JJ has an army of all these amazing people, and he's pretty much set up a shortcut for you guys to know who the successful people are that are doing business, that are doing all of the things. So you don't have to do what I did when I first got into sub 2. Pace at that time, I think there was like 3,000 people in sub 2. He's like, make sure you have 25 friends. I was like, okay, 25 friends. I would take anybody that I can find. Everyone I was talking to, I don't even think most of them are even still either in sub 2 or they're not even practiced. They're not in the space. Like there's a difference between, and that's what I love about Pace is he's an actual practitioner and still doing what he's teaching right now, opposed to somebody else. Like when I was in other mentorships, they wouldn't really teach anything. And similar to JJ's an actual practitioner. He's putting into action everything by this Zoom right here and connecting people. Like JJ is one of the most amazing, biggest connectors that I've met. And I actually emulate him. And I'm just like, okay, what is JJ doing? All right, he said to do this, this, and this. If you take the nuggets that JJ is giving you guys, you're definitely going to be able to connect with people from a distance, because it is difficult to connect with someone digitally. Like I'm not even going to play about it. But when you do things such as a Zoom, I can't really do Zooms too much when I'm trying to connect with people because I'm very active in my other businesses. So I'm either on the road or something like that. But if you can do that, hop on a Zoom with somebody, like do these things on Facebook that JJ teaches and connect with people that are actually in the space, it's going to reduce your learning curve and it will skyrocket you.
I'll tell you, Maj, thank you so much for the acknowledgement. Thank you so much for being here today. I'll tell you, man, you're just a fine young man. I freaking love you. You're freaking awesome. We have the similarities about fitness and sports medicine. That was huge to me at one point in my life, and unfortunately wasn't able to take that into a career, but it's never stopped being a part of my life, being active and fit.
Every day, man.
Every day. It's a mission every single day. I want to really thank you for being here today. If you guys are watching on YouTube right now, I'd like you to please like Maj's video. Please like our presentation. Please put some comments in on the YouTube there, whatever your takeaways are. If you guys are on the call right now, when this video comes out, please like the video. Go back, like our other videos. That's going to help support us. That engagement, liking our videos, liking our content, and posting things in the comment section. Again, if you want to connect with Maj, check him out on his Instagram. It's at MAJSAYY is his link for his Instagram. If you want to connect with me, go to my website, jjazizian.com. Click the little register now button. Please register for the group. Connect with me and let me help you learn how to market yourself, brand yourself, make yourself visible, because that will be the key to your success. If you guys are on the call right now, sticking around, I'm going to go to some live breakout rooms, some networking, and get to know a little bit more about our guest speaker. Maj, I guess we'll stay in touch. We'll be visible, and we'll be out there in social media world, you on Instagram and YouTube, and we'll see everybody soon.
Yeah, definitely, JJ. I hope to catch you out in Denver next time you're here. It sucked I couldn't catch you last time, but I'll probably have to come through Cali and see what's up.
We'll make it happen soon. Hey guys, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. See you soon.